There are many of us that would like to lose weight, or maintain our weight, or simply just eat for good health. I think that's something we all should do. But a lot of us do have the problem of getting there. How do we achieve this goal? And often we feel very hindered and don't even understand why we can't get there. I hear so many times people say to me, I eat well, I eat healthy. You know what? I have said the same thing myself. And I just don't understand why I'm not losing weight. Well, let's talk about what I believe to be the basic. That is portion size, because the reality is you can eat even too much of a good thing. And the problem is, particularly here in the United States, we eat too much of just about everything. There was actually an article that came out not too long ago, a research article that said about 30 years ago we were eating 600 calories less per day than we eat today. And if you look at how portion sizes have grown over the years, you will see they're much, much bigger than they used to be. And I'm not just talking about restaurants, fast food, or sit down. I'm also talking about at home. If we don't have a plate heaping with stuff, we feel that we are under eating. And the reality is we are overeating. So that 600 more calories per day that we're eating now than we did 30 years ago will translate into pounds gained, because 1 pound equals 3,500 calories. An extra 500 calories a day that we eat that we do not burn up or need will result in 1 pound of weight gain per week. So let's talk about how we can get back to eating the right portion sizes. I'm going to show you a few of models of foods and how we should be eating, and that will hopefully help you get to where you need to be in cutting back on portion sizes should you need to do so. So before we begin, I would like for you to imagine a plate, or you can take out a plate. I will hold one for you here. Half your plate should be vegetables. A quarter of that plate should be starch, and a quarter of the plate should be protein. Your fruit and dairy are on the placemat. That's a good way to lay out your meal. Now, it's not just enough to lay it out well. It's not just enough to have the right numbers, half the plate being vegetables. You want it to be prepared in a healthy manner as well. Obviously. I'm from the South. What do we love to do in the South? We love to fry our vegetables. We fry everything. You might as well just eat a donut, right? So you want to prepare it in a healthy manner. So let's talk. Well, let's start with the grain group. So for example, it has been recommended that we have between 6 to 11 servings of grains per day. I know someone who once told me, there is no way, Lisa, I could possibly eat 6 to 11 servings of grains per day. I'll be hugely fat. I said, I don't think you know how much a serving size is. 1 slice of bread is a serving size. So if you have a sandwich that has 2 slices of, and I'm talking about regular sandwich bread, not a big hoagie, not a big Kaiser roll, 1 slice is 1 serving. If you have a sandwich with 2 slices of bread, you're having 2 servings of grains. You're already, pretty close to getting to that 6. A serving size of tortilla is 6 inches. So, when we have those big supersized burritos, we're having more than 1 serving. A serving size of rice or pasta. This is a serving size. Now, some of you may have fainted. Please, I'll wait for you to get up off the floor and back on the chair, because how many of us actually eat this amount? Many, many, many of us eat far more than that. But let's take a look at this pasta. Let's put it on a plate. It's about a quarter of the plate, right? So, read your labels. I hope you're reading your nutrition facts labels. This is pasta. 1 serving size has 190 calories in it. If you're eating 5 or 6 or 7 servings of this, you're eating way too many calories in just the pasta. So, for example, at home, I have been myself at home and ladled onto a plate. More pasta than this. I've been out to someone's house for dinner. I've gotten pasta. More pasta than this. I go out to eat. I definitely get more pasta than this. So for example, this is a restaurant, Macaroni Grill, national restaurant. Very good. I love it. I eat there all the time. You can make very good choices here. You can make very poor choices here. I'm back to the pasta. So for example, if you get their Pollo Limon Rustica, sounds absolutely divine, but you will be having 1,200 calories, 38 grams of saturated fat, 1,870 milligrams of sodium, which is horrible. From fine dining down to fast food and everywhere in between, all the restaurants flunk on sodium. So let's look at a bit of a better choice. Staying in the pasta, capellini pomodoro, 390 calories. 2 grams of saturated fat, 980 milligrams of sodium. It's obviously a smaller portion. It's prepared in a more healthy way. So you can make the good choices or you can make the poor choices, but whatever you do, we definitely need to focus on healthy choices most of the time, cutting back on portion size. So let's move on to the fruit group. Serving size of fruit. Small to medium piece of whole fruit. We want to have between 2 to 4 servings of fruit per day. This is for basic people, so I'm not talking if you have disease states. A lot of us have a disease state. It might be diabetes, we might have high triglycerides, we could have a variety of different things. We may need to restrict or add in more potassium, whatever it might be. Those are very specific issues that you should be talking to your individual healthcare provider who know your history. So this is just for basic people, not talking about disease states. 2 to 4 servings of fruit. This is a serving of fruit. This is a serving of fruit. If you like to eat dried fruit, it's okay, but we're talking very small amounts. So for example, raisins. This is tiny. This is 2 tablespoons. And I'm talking about level tablespoons, not heaping ones, okay? So that would be probably the really small box. Why is it such a small serving size? What were raisins in a prior life? They were grapes. So as you can see, a lot of people would say, I can't possibly eat 2 to 4 servings of fruit per day. It's way too much. Not a lot, and so good for you. I do want to caution on fruit juice, however, because a serving size of fruit juice is actually a small glass, not a heaping glass. And think about how many oranges, for example, it would take to fill even a 4-ounce cup. More than one. Would you sit down, or should you sit down, I guess is the better question, at a sitting and have more than one piece of fruit? The answer is no. So the problem with the juices are they're very caloric and they don't have any fiber. So I would focus on the whole fruits if at all possible, or cubed fruit, but just fruit. Serving size of protein, 3 ounces, about the size of a small palm, about the size of a deck of cards. Let's go back to the plate. About the size of about a quarter of the plate. For many of you, that could be a problem. Not for me. I've never been a big meat eater, but my husband, for example, this is way too small for him. I had a patient one who said that he ate a huge amount of meat every day, and it was very difficult for him to go down to 3 ounces all of a sudden. So what I suggest is make any change. I suggested he cut in half what he was normally eating and work his way down, because any change is better than no change, and cutting back will certainly cut back calories. Serving size of veggies. You want to have between 3 to 5 servings of veggies per day. Cup of raw, half a cup of cooked. Remember, it's about half the plate. Again, prepared in a healthy manner. And then let's move on to the fats. Just by definition, fat, it connotates calorie. One fat calorie has one fat gram has more calories in it than 1 gram of carbohydrate or 1 gram of protein, over double. So while they can be good for you, because we've heard of the heart healthy fats, for example, olive oil, canola oil, peanut butter, peanut oil, most of the nut butters, olives, avocado, those are very good for you, but only in small quantity. You want to use those fats sparingly. So for example, serving size of avocado is this. It's not the big guacamole you get when you go to a Mexican restaurant, right? It's about 1/8 of an avocado. This is 45 calories. Serving size of dressing, for example, is a tablespoon. So when you go to the salad bar and you're going down and you get all your wonderful veggies and you get to the final end of it and there's that crock of dressing sitting there, do they give you one of these to ladle? I gave it away, didn't I? To put the dressing on your salad. No, they give you a ladle. And I have seen people just sit there and ladle and ladle and ladle the dressing onto their salad. Probably putting thousands of calories in just in the dressing. Walking away thinking, oh, I'm doing so good because I've ordered a salad, I've made myself a wonderful salad, it's all these great vegetables. Sit down and they're just consuming thousands of calories. So not so good. Serving size of oil, like olive oil, is a teaspoon. Serving size of nuts is small. I tell people, put the nuts in your hand. shut your hand comfortably. You don't have to hold it shut like this. The nuts aren't falling out the side. That is a serving size of nuts. I've seen my husband stand up in the kitchen, open up a brand new bag of walnuts and just stand there and eat half the bag. He's probably eaten 2,000 calories. Not good. Small amounts. So this is a serving size of nuts in the shell, for example, peanuts. And then finally, I only hold up white bread ever because why do I like to hold up the brown breads and the brown rice is because of the fiber. We want to have between 30 to 35 grams of fiber per day, and you get that through the grains like this, through fruits and vegetables, not through the white bread so much. But I like to hold up the white bread to show you what peanut butter looks like spread on a piece of bread. You turn it to the side, you can't see it. So just small amounts. Serving size of dairy, so of milk, for example, is a cup of milk. I suggest non-fat milk, best choice. Low, no fat, very low in cholesterol. If you are over the age of 2, you should not be drinking whole milk. If you're under 2, please continue on with that whole milk. And then if you are not at non-fat already, at least go down 1. Work yourself down to non-fat milk. It's just a much better choice. And then let's just talk a little bit about the desserts, all those wonderful things out there that we love to have. Those should be in moderation. They are treats. They should not be an everyday affair. We can go out and order desserts or make them at home where they have more calories than we need in 2, 3, 4, 5 days sometimes. So, or even like the coffee drinks. You go to any of the coffee houses, they could have a frappe, a frappuccino, a frozen mocha, whatever they are. It could even be 700, 800 calories. That's more calories than you should have in one meal. So be careful, dial it back. Remember, half the plate your veggie, quarter of the plate your starch, quarter of the plate your protein, dairy and fruit on the placemat in proper portions prepared in a healthy way. You're half the way there.